What about England then? Stuart, we're obviously looking ahead to Twickenham on Saturday. What kind of shape are they pitching up in? What have you made of things?
Scratching my head still. I thought they were encouraging against a pretty strong Welsh team at Twickenham. They had a lot of players missing, but I thought they were good on the gain line. And I thought that when things went against them, they slowed the game down, almost like a good basketball team does when they're winning. Worked out what they needed to do, scrummed Wales into the ground, got the 3, 6, 9 points and won again. That's in the Six Nations and the Tour of South Africa. They were incapable of arresting opposition momentum. So I was quite impressed with that. We then went to Cardiff and they brought the cavalry on with 25, half an hour to go, and they were within 4 points, yet Jones said he wanted an England team that could sort out the sticky situations. And with a lot of his big guns on, they didn't look like really eradicating the problems that had been set to them by the Welsh defence. They ended up catch and drive lineouts, and Wales, in a week, had gone from being hammered in that aspect of the game to dominating. So I think it was promising at Twickenham. I thought it was deeply disappointing in Cardiff. So right now, I mean, to use golf terminology, they're par 1 over. Okay. No more than that.
Because there is so much talent in that team, and
there is.
When they're on, God, they look amazing, unbeatable at times. We saw, glimpses even in the Six Nations just gone. What are the kind of big selection issues for you, or the key personnel you want to see in, or that Jones, you suspect, is throwing around in his mind? That starting 15 I'm talking about.
I think there's let's focus on 2 areas: back row and midfield. In the back row, England have always been done at the breakdown by the best teams for many years. Now, in Tom Curry and Sam Underhill, if he can ever stay fit, they've got 2 sevens who are magnificent. And you look at Australia, come the World Cup, if it's fit, it'll be Pocock and Hooper.
Yeah.
You know that New Zealand now are looking at the Sam Cane, Ardie Surveyor route. So Eddie Jones is always worried about the balance of his back row because Billy Vunipola can't jump, and that's an issue. And he thinks if he goes those 2 sevens, he loses something in the line-out. But if you don't risk losing something in the line-out, is it not more important? Is it more dangerous to lose the breakdown? Because there's hundreds of breakdowns. There's not that many line-outs. So I think that's a crucial decision. He's got Wilson, who's a dependable 6. He's got Laws, who is a second row who can do brilliant set-piece things there. And he's got 2 sevens who I think are of high potential. I would like to see him go with the 2 sevens. I think he might go horses for courses when they're all fit. Then you look at the centre. I think that in an age of such communication and pressure in defence, a fly half can't be expected to just run the show purely on his own. He needs eyes and he needs ears. Now, England like to play Manu Tuolangi there. He's an amazing physical threat, but he's a very quiet man. He can be almost mute on a rugby field. He's not a reader of a game. I think it dumps your number 10 in a whole lot of trouble. I thought for a long time now, Slade didn't crack it as a 10, but he became a very accomplished 13. I would like to have seen England use him. He's been injured, so they can't, but use him at 12 and see how Tuolangi goes at 13. But that, without jumping off the fence for once, I think England's big dilemma here is what do they do? I don't know the pure answer. I think if Slade stays 13, Tuolangi perhaps should be an impact player. But it's not obvious what England are doing there. I mean, there's even talk here that they'll be looking because of injuries to Ford and Farrell at 10 and 12 against Ireland. Right. Because I think that's another impact possibility, bringing Ford on. But he had a very poor game as well. So I think they've got an interesting and good set of options from which to make a decision in the back row. I think they've got a worrying lack of options in how they're going to come up with their midfield. And that would be crucial to England because, as you said, they've got a pack that carries brilliantly, that offloads superbly well. This pack on its day is as good as any in the world. But if you can't provide that link between the pack and a high-class back 3, then you can get cut off there. I also think that England are not strong at scrum half, where Ben Youngs wasn't having a great season before his injury, hasn't for a year or two. And in Willie Hines, they've got a very experienced old lag, but he's got very little experience at this level.
Yeah,
so there are plenty of question marks about England, for all the exclamation marks about that pack of theirs.